I'd like to welcome everyone to this Friday MarketVid web chat. My name is Rick Dearborn, president of MarketVid. These web chats are forums to share ideas from the best thought leaders in the field of online marketing video. Today's chat is sponsored by the 10daymarketingmakeover.com and Gil Efron, author of the book How to Give Your Business an Extreme Marketing Makeover, which is available at Amazon.com. The principles found in Gil's book are the foundation of how we approach marketing video at MarketVid. Our guest today is Perry Towle of Towle in Boulder, Colorado. Towle creates animation for videos and websites. Animation is an affordable and effective way of making your content stand out and get attention. Now, this is an interactive web chat, and we hope that you can participate by asking questions. You can do so with the question area at the bottom of your screen. And then just remember when you're done with your question to hit either the enter button or the return button to get it to come through. So welcome, Terry. Nice to have you with us today.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Let's get right into this. Tell us a little bit, Perry, about your background before getting into your company, Towle.
Through college, throughout my youth, I was really big on music composition, and I ended up going through college and learning about music composition, and did a lot of it, mostly with computers. So this kind of linear approach lends itself well to animation and motion design, and from then, about 10 years ago, I kind of launched into the computer world, more so thinking I was going to be a music composer, but then kind of saw Flash as a means for delivering music over the web, and then I realized that Flash is an extraordinary tool. This was 1999, and for doing motion design and animation and eventually interactivity, and then things kind of took off from there.
Very good. Tell us a little bit about your business. What's Towle all about? How did that get founded, and what sort of things do you do at Towle?
When I first started as a freelancer right around 99, and I saw my friends doing all these cool things. I was in the Bay Area at the time, and so the bubble was being fully inflated. I had a friend in the tech down in South Bay, and a friend doing a .com in San Francisco, and all of a sudden I wanted to be a part of that. So. And I wanted to fuel the creative juices within me. So for about 8 years I was just a freelancer, and then Towle started that about 3 years ago, wanting to be more of a digital agency and do more production work with a collaborative effort and get clients with a little bit larger budgets. I was kind of doing mom and pop shops, and after a while I wanted to kind of grow, and so I started Towle with the intent of really building an agency, and it kind of still continues on, although it's leaned out a little bit. So with kind of Flash as the backbone of it, we ended up doing a lot of microsites for a lot of the higher end stuff, the Fortune 500 companies. We ended up collaborating with an ad agency in LA who had clients like Intel and Linksys and those kinds of things. We did a lot of Flash for them. And then as soon as, so some interactivity, but also I ended up doing a lot of the animation, and I had a developer who did a lot of the action script, the coding side of it. And then we said, since broadband really started to open up, and since the iPhone came onto the scene, I started transitioning my work more towards After Effects, more towards motion design, because I felt kind of liberated because of the broadband, and seeing video come on the stage strong. It's like, all right, Flash is good, but After Effects is very good, much cooler. And so we also dabble in iPhone development, and as well as website design.
Well, tell us a little bit about your company and the types of clients that you're dealing with now. What is the range of clients that you're servicing currently with your company?
I found a little bit of a niche market in the software companies in the Bay Area, and I think what they like about animation as opposed to live action is that since they don't have a product to share, it's not like hey, check out this phone. It's not a hardware thing, it's a software thing. So animation communicates ideas really well. So what we started finding is that they wanted to come to us and say, can you do a minute, 2 minute, 3 minute? And I'd shy away from anything longer than 3 minutes unless it's a tutorial of some kind. But so these were ways of communicating ideas very quickly, succinctly, and sometimes interactively, but also kind of hitting things on an emotional level. So kind of word got around, and now we're just busy. We don't do any marketing ourselves because there's just a lot of fun stuff coming our way.
Very good. What are some of the advantages of using animation? I mean, a lot of people there's a lot of talk about using video. That's certainly what we're all about here at MarketVid, is helping people to promote the use of video on their websites. Mm-hmm. But tell us the advantages of animation versus live action video, and why a person would want to use that instead to communicate their content.
I think, well, for one reason, in some instances, it can be easier to, from a production standpoint, because sometimes it can just be me doing the animation. I do like to team up with a copywriter and an illustrator in terms of a bare bones team, and then I end up doing. Sometimes I'll do the voiceover work. Sometimes I always like getting talent, voiceover talent, to do the narration or the character voices. But as far as, the animation is just, sometimes can be a great way to just say, communicate an idea, and use icons as a way to represent concepts and flow them around and put them in webs, put them in charts. Lots of times people come to us because they see the characters that we've created. And so a character can create that brand, that we all know the Gecko Geico, or is it the Geico Gecko? I think it's the Geico Gecko. And he's just this little thing, this little guy, right, that we all immediately have brand recognition with. And of course it goes back, I don't know how far back it goes, I think Ronald McDonald, but it obviously goes way back before that. So one company came to us and said, we want this character, Koopa Sam. They're Koopa.com. And so we ended up creating about 8 videos for them, all with this character. And they even have an 8-foot-tall mascot that they take to trade shows, to conferences and things like that. So having that character, it's a brand recognition thing, really, that can be powerful. Yeah.
So are there advantages? I get an indication of what you're saying here, but it seems to me that there would be cost savings too, from having to go out with a crew and work with talent and scripts and locations and all of that. Certainly there's advantages to both, but is that where the real savings is in cutting back on the field production activities?
I've never been part of a big video shoot team, and I don't know much about it. We did do one live shoot on a green screen with just an actor, and that was pretty lean, so it wasn't that expensive. But yeah, if you ended up going to locations and things like that. But sometimes if you're just pointing the camera at a talking head versus designing a character, designing all these backgrounds and putting in the time to actually make the mouth move and make the props move around, I mean, that can obviously be more expensive. So I guess it depends on the live action and how complex that is, and also how complex the animation is too. But because I think the big thing too that can keep the cost down is the control. There's so much our undo button as animators is much easier to hit than the undo button in going to live action. If you had to do multiple shoots, you have to go back, or if a shoot didn't turn out well, if it was raining, or yeah, I think covers it.
It seems to me that we've had a lot of talk in our past chats about the value of having company presidents business owners appear on camera, regardless of how good they work on camera. But there's something about the honesty and value to that. What about blending the two so that that a video that would appear on a website is not purely animation? It might have some live action and some animation. Sounds like you might have done a little bit of that. What about that motivation of the honesty and of the having to have the trust and the face value of having an actual representative of the company appear on camera with the animation?
Yeah, I think transparency is pretty nice. I like to put photos of me and the people that I work with on my website, even though it's not video, but it's like I want to know that there's people there, that they're breathing and that they're alive, and that maybe even that they're stateside, so that I can call them up and know that we're on the right time zone or similar time zones, or that they're going to speak in a language I understand. So yeah, I was just speaking with someone, and he was talking about doing a video, and I said, you know, since he was a financial guy, and so he's trusting people with thousands of dollars. People are trusting him. And so I said, why don't we show your face just so they know that you're there and you're a living, breathing human being, and that you can, and so they have that recognition, and so there is that immediate trust. And then whether he's good on screen or not, we can still see that, make that mark, and then shoot into pie charts, graphs, financial figures, trends, and then those can be represented with ideas, animation, vector, bitmaps, whatever, video. Yeah, I think that's pretty important.
I want to remind everyone that's watching right now that if you'd like to ask a question of Perry, please type it in the Q&A area on the bottom of your screen. We'd love to hear from you. And just remember to hit the enter button when you're done. We don't see that get submitted to us unless you push enter or return. Let's get back to this issue of, I'm thinking of timing here. If someone is doing a production, is there a timing difference between working with live action video versus animation? I know I think of animation as being a very slow, tedious process. Tell us about the timing.
Well, I just did a 1-minute video in 6 weeks, and that was also, you know, it was a full animation with character and multiple backgrounds and voiceover and music and all the editing that goes into that. Quick edits. It wasn't complex. It was 2D, but it was a 6-week process. But it could have gotten condensed down into 3 weeks, just because I had other jobs going on at the same time. So it can move pretty quickly. And I think even if it is 3D or more complex, it can still move along pretty quickly. You know, there's the basic phases. There's the concept phase, there's the writing phase, and then there's which can be more like an outline, and then writing, and then storyboard, and then sound and voiceover, and then what we call an animatic, which is just a simple animation. So each one of these phases, the client is approving each one. So the final one being the animation. So yeah, it can move along pretty quickly.
Perry, do you have any examples of your clients that feel that the return on investment of animation really pays off? That this is an effective way to communicate their message, and that it does have measurable results for them in terms of sales?
Yeah, it's hard for me to speak directly towards their return and how many people are saying, I saw that video, I want to buy that product. I don't have any figures on that, but I can say this company, Coupa.com, when they came to us and we said, oh yeah, we want to do this one video for you. It was 2 minutes long or so, and then we did 7 more, and so that tells me that there must have been some value there for them to want to keep coming back and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this character, and spend a good chunk of their marketing budget. I mean, I don't know what percentage of their marketing budget is. I know it's a small, medium-sized business, but I think they also figured that maybe we were relatively inexpensive, that there was a larger bang for the buck on these videos, because they could put them mostly on their website, on their home pages, but also in their trade shows they could run them. So I think repeat business speaks a lot for what kind of mileage the companies are getting out of video.
Yeah, it does indeed, because they wouldn't come back and want to do more if there wasn't a return on it for them and they didn't see results.
True.
Let's talk a little bit about the mobile environment. We've got smartphones now that are coming out that do amazing things. We've got all these tablets. Just even right now, it's December 2011. We have the new Amazon Fire player that's come out, which is pretty amazing for $199. And it appears that a lot of these devices are really being designed around being able to play video. Where do you see what you do and where marketing is going in terms of accessing and making use of these mobile devices?
Yeah, it's come on so quickly, and that's why I've changed so much of my emphasis on you think you go from video to interactive. We've since just taking a look at the film industry, going and so much money now transferring over to gaming, but now with these devices, and people just wanting to consume content quickly, there's no doubt that we're going to see more and more of that, just because, wow, I've got a video right here in my hand, and I can cruise through anything right here. But also with that, whether people are playing content, most of that content is going to need to be there needs to be advertising to support that. So even in the iPhone apps that we're developing, there's ads in there. Boop, you click on the ad, it's showing video. It's a marketing video from Ford. And also now with Android, BlackBerry, and other tablets, there's all the ads. They're going to pop up, and most of them now are serving video. We're going to see that more and more. And I think the huge, it's just offering people that marketing, but also not just handheld. I think the TV market is about to explode, and because people are canceling their cable and they're plugging the internet into their TVs, and they're going to have, we thought, whatever, 900 channels was a lot, whatever the cables companies were providing. Well, now it's like going to be millions of channels or millions of opportunities to find and watch content. And so whether you're making movies or not, or whether you're making content that's for entertainment purposes or for educational purposes, all that stuff is going to need some kind of bumper, or it's going to need titles, or it's going to need interstitials, or there's going to be a marketing piece in there somewhere during the commercial in order for the people to get revenue out of it. So I think it's exploding, whether we like it or not, and to offer a good service to people, I think is going to be really important, and there's going to be a lot of gratification that'll come from that.
Let's talk a little bit more, define a little more clearly what you mean by TV. We think of TV as being the television set, as being cable TV, and you said that's exploding. Define a little bit more for me what you mean by that. Or does that mean there'll be more cable TV, more channels on our TV, or it's moving to the internet, or what are you envisioning for the future?
Thanks for clarifying. I think it really is going to be internet. Every little box that you're going to get now, whether it's iTV, Google TV, or the Roku, it's going to be a Roku, however you pronounce it. There's these tiny little boxes that are like this big, and you take them in the little HDMI. There's Ethernet or wireless connection to your TV, to your broadband, and then you plug the HDMI cable into your HDTV. Bam, and you've got all this content, and some of that's coming from movie companies directly, and where everyone's interested in bypassing that middleman, and it could come from movie distributors like Blockbuster or Netflix or Amazon or Apple, or it could just come from a network, a CBS, Fox, just coming straight to you. And then there's all this other stuff that I don't have any of these boxes, so I don't really know how many channels there are, but I just delivered just yesterday a 1-minute video to a client, and they said we're going to put this on Google TV. So of course I type in Google TV ads, and right there is a place to show their video, their content. So we're not just delivering video to the web that'll end up on somebody's mobile device, but it's now being rerouted to TVs, and everyone's going to have a TV. If you don't have a TV on your wall, you're going to eventually anyway. And so now that we're just blowing open the channels, like I could never be seen on TV, but I can now with my little animations for small businesses and medium-sized businesses.
You know, the old adage is that a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I like to say, and I've been quoted as saying, that online marketing video is worth 1,000,000 words, because you communicate with all the senses. You have the ability to reach out in ways. You have no middleman between you and potential audiences. It's really a phenomenal opportunity. Where do you think we're going with, I know one of the things that you advertise, Perry, is you say, why have text on your website when you can have an animation? It says so much more. Do you think we're seeing a movement away from text and more toward video and animation, and that someday we may see very little of text-based websites?
Yeah, I really do think that the walls of text, as I call them, are really for the people who have already committed to your product or service, and they really want to find out more. If you're looking for that quick hook, and you just want to reel them in, it's got to be a 1-minute thing, and you need to offer them that little triangle like you have in your logo. There's that little triangle there, right? That's like the symbol for entertain me, for inspire me, for teach me, sell me, excite me. You know, that's the button that people are looking for, and storytelling's not new, right? That's all we're doing. We're telling the story and saying, this is what I do, this is what this company does. We were just talking before about the caveman. People were hanging around a fire. The most interesting person around the fire is going to be the storyteller, and they're the ones going to inspire, entertain, educate. And so that's all these videos are doing. It's nothing new. And we don't have to feel bad about making everybody dumber by watching videos, but if it's storytelling and if it's meant to inspire, then we'll have at it. And the books will never go away, or e-readers will never go away. The text is a great way to dive in deeper. But again, this is the hook that people are looking for and wanting.
So true indeed. Let's talk about length. What is the optimum length, do you think, for captivating people these days with a video and animation? And do you have any struggles in dealing with your clients and in getting that down to a manageable length? What do you think about timing?
Yeah, that is an ongoing problem, because the business owner is so tied to their idea that they just want to tell them everything. We want to tell you everything. This thing does everything, and we're going to tell you all about it in 10 minutes. And we actually have a script now that's 4.5 minutes long, and it feels long. Unless, I think what we tell people is, like, they usually come to us with this idea of 4-minute video or 5-minute video and say, well, let's bring it down into 3 or 4 1-minute chunks. We'll have the intro video. We've done this quite often. We're going to start with an intro video as that hook, and just get the overview and get people excited about what you do. Then part 2, part 3, or two other pieces other than the intro, we're going to get deeper into it. So if you have a specific interest, click here and learn more about here in this video. If you want to learn more about how it relates to small business, click here and we'll expand into it. Now, people's attention span, for better or for worse, is short, right? So don't bore them, hook them.
If you could say something to clients out there that might be considering using animation in videos, and because now you've dealt with the issues of dealing with clients, what are some recommendations you could make to them about preparing for that process, about what works well, and whether or not they should use animation? Yeah,
I think what really works well from what I've seen, is sometimes we'll spend half of our budget on concept and script, and most people think that all the time and sweat goes into the animation or the production time, but really it is about that story. And really just saying, okay, what do we want to communicate? Getting it down into 4 bullet points, 3 to 5, whatever, and then getting together with the team to brainstorm some ideas, and then giving it to a professional writer, or if you can't hire, you don't have the budget for a professional writer who's got commercial experience, who's got writing comedy or writing something inspirational. If you can't find somebody like it, find somebody who really knows how to edit, really bring things down in concise form, and tell your story, and really spend time on that. Because if you're going to just shoot a talking head, just stick with the text. Unless it's you and you really want to tell people about what you do. Yeah.
A lot of people that are out there that are wanting to get into doing marketing video are really small companies. It might be the local bakery or a coffee shop or a car repair place that has 1 or 2 employees. Is animation work for those people too? Is there a price point at which you can do an animation that's within the cost figure, or is it something that really needs to be for larger businesses?
I had a 2-person law firm. It was a husband and wife team come to me and said, we want to do an e-card, and I ended up being too expensive for them, and they went with somebody else. But there's no question that whoever they found could very easily make something that's pretty it's going to help people remember the logo, remember the law firm, think of them in the future, and also if you find the right person and you know that they'll do good work for inexpensively, because you could find somebody who's just working from home and they moonlight, and I think I've seen a lot of really good stuff. It feels like it's 1 in 1,000 when you find somebody who's all by themselves doing really quality work inexpensively, but hopefully you can catch them early on before they say, hey, I can start asking for more because I'm in high demand. But no, I do think, and I might be more critical than others because I'm looking for that really nice professional video. But if you're just communicating an idea in a short amount of time, it doesn't have to be a big production,
Tell us how people can get a hold of you, and I notice we don't have your phone number on the site here. What is your web address? And I'm assuming, too, Perry, that you have some examples of your work on there that people can look at, so give us some contact information.
Mistype 720-352-5516 and truefuel.com. And my portfolio's on there. It's a year old, but there's still a lot of content on there worth looking at, I think.
Okay, Perry was typing that answer into the Q&A area, which I don't know that our audience can see, so I'll repeat that. His phone number is 720-352-5516, and then you can see on the slide right there, TrueFuel, T-R-U-F-U-E-L, truefuel.com is the website. Anything else you'd like to add before we sign off, Perry?
No, I just I think keep your eyes out on the TV bit and figure out how you can be ahead of the curve. Start offering people your services for television ads. I think it's going to really take off in the next year. Yep.
Great, thanks a lot. And I see we have some thank yous coming in from our audience there. So thanks a lot, Perry, and really, really appreciate your being with us today and your time, and hopefully we'll have you back again. And I want to remind all of our people watching that Perry is one of our alliance partners on MarketVid and is available through our website as well. So we'll be seeing, maybe we can have you post some of your animations in our forums too. We have the ability to post those. Hope you do that, Perry.
Yeah.
So thanks very much.
Thanks, Rick.
I got to work my slide thing here too. You're welcome. Today's chat has been sponsored by the 10daymarketingmakeover.com and Gil Efren, author of the book How to Give Your Business an Extreme Marketing Makeover, which is available at Amazon.com. The principles found in Gil's book are the foundation of how we approach marketing video at MarketVid, and that approach there is basically to take a look at your sales process, identify areas where there are points of constraint, and be sure you're marketing only to those, because you're wasting your marketing dollars spending out on areas that don't make a difference. And Gil's book and his principles are very helpful with that process. And let's see, coming up next Friday, December 9th, we have our next Friday web chat featuring Shannon Steffen of Exira Media in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She's also one of our partners. Shannon is an expert on search engine optimization, or SEO, and that's a really hot topic in business today. I think everyone, even those doing marketing videos and animation, are concerned with how do you do a better job with search engine optimization. And Shannon is a nationally recognized expert. We're glad to have her. So the registration for that event is open now if you'd like to register. This web chat has been recorded and will be available soon on the Friday web chats area of MarketVid. You can go to that area anytime and see any of our past and growing number of web chats. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time